Hi, friends. I just want to take an opportunity, just a moment or two, to offer some encouragement and maybe some advice and some guidance for today's Aries new moon. So, in the background, which I'm eventually going to turn off, but I'm listening to the music of Hildegard von Bingen. She's a 11th century abbess and mystic and known as Saint Hildegard and considered a polymath. And so she was a writer, a composer, a philosopher, a mystic in the Catholic Church, and a medical writer. She was absolutely brilliant. And like I said, 11th to 12th century. So, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've been listening to a lot of her music lately to instill a sense of serenity and peace and connection to creator source that I want to be connecting to. And yesterday for the equinox, and I'm sure if you've already listened to the Starseed ministry, you listened to the Aries new moon forecast, it was really, the flashpoints were already very much there. And I was certainly feeling it. My inbox was filling with all kinds of stories and examples, and even things I was listening to that were current as of yesterday. You can really feel, even before the moon came into Aries, which is going to happen today for our new moon, that flashpoint was already very present. Now, we have a lot of planets in Aries, a lot of bodies in Aries, the zodiac sign of Aries. And so for the moon to come into Aries today at a new moon, it is going to thankfully be the mediator for what otherwise is this very hot, impulsive, very charged energy of Aries with the sun there. But also it becomes very personal, it becomes very instinctual with the new moon and impulsive. And later today, the moon and Mercury are going to meet with each other in Aries, and the possibility for some very caustic and aggressive expressions that are coming out of moodiness, changing and vacillation of moods, wanting to express oneself with an urgency that may feel very assertive from one side, and the person on the receiving end, it may feel very aggressive. And I would encourage you, including myself, right, to find the ways that you can instill a sense of peace within yourself. So in the Starseed ministry, if you listen to it from yesterday, one of the guidance cards that came out in the reading was the isolation chamber. Now, I'm not suggesting that we cut ourselves off from everybody. I don't think that's really an option at this point. But, I mean, it may be for you. I don't know. But what I'm suggesting here is that you take initiative and make some choices that are going to help bring you to a state of peace, of serenity within yourself, and knowing who you are. Because the moon is still in Pisces as of right now. And it's already been in a conjunction with Neptune, and we pick up everything when the moon and Neptune are conjunction. And add to that Pisces, where there are no boundaries. It is formless. It is undifferentiated. And when you are attempting to commune with your creator, whatever that means to you, with a transit like that, you pick up on everything, not just that. And so it can be very confusing. People can be delusional, and their dreams and fantasies take on a life of their own. And there's nothing you can do about that with other people. The moon is going to also square Mercury today before it comes out of Aries. Mars is the ruling planet of Aries in these very last degrees of Gemini before moving into Cancer at the end of the week, which I talked about yesterday. Very distinct decisions are going to need to be made and acted upon at that point. And so this So this energy of making decisions is really starting to build. And when you have Moon and Mars in a square angle, there is a lot of irritation and simmering anger that can come to the surface. And what will make this even more annoying is Mars will want to assert itself almost to the point of annoyance. And the moon in these last degrees of Pisces is going to be this diffusion that you have no choice but to realize that it's all light is light is light. And even though it goes through a prism and you see all of the variety, right? Every frequency, every color, it's still light. And that can be very disempowering and frustrating when you are attempting to assert yourself, your ideas, the things that you have learned as Mars has moved through Gemini for months now. So then we have the new moon, and then after the new moon, the moon and Mercury in Aries come into conjunction in a degree, again, that has us feeling this really strong urge to assert ourselves, our individuality, and the expression that comes from that is could be very caustic. At the best case scenario, you may find yourself really communing with people and friends and loved ones that you can actually talk to, get things off of your chest. But there are going to be people that are doing more than getting things off their chest. They are going to be projecting their emotional flashpoints out of a sense of urgency and a subconscious need that they might not even understand. So the best thing you could do is get out of the way of those things if you can, and do whatever you can to instill that sense of inner knowing and peace and connection with your creator, whatever that means to you, because it was pretty strong yesterday and we hadn't even gotten to the moon in Aries. So I just wanted to speak to that today. Now, the other thing is that right now, the solar weather situation in this moment is very calm. Please take advantage of this because there is a lot that is coming down the pipeline in just the next couple of days, where we have a large coronal hole coming in to face the planet, which means high energy solar wind coming at us, and sunspots coming into facing Earth as well that could send CMEs. So we have the potential to be consistently bombarded with high intensity solar activity, along with this moon in Aries and all of this Aries energy. And then Pluto coming into Aquarius, Mars coming into Cancer by the end of the week. This is going to be a very choppy waters and very disturbed emotionally for a lot of people. So do what you can, please, to take advantage of this moment of calm and to instill that, to have that be a familiar feeling that you can go back to when things start really reverberating, and when people who are not doing this work for themselves are finding themselves being swept up and being that flashpoint in their own lives. And it could be really destructive, right? I mean, that's the thing about that charge and that flashpoint, is that it happens quickly, but you can't take it back once it happens. So if you find yourself getting into that stage, find healthy ways to release this energy. I'm not saying you should hold it in or to suppress your feelings. That is not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is you don't want to hurt people in the process, and you certainly don't want to burn yourself out attempting to assert yourself, when the reality is that everybody is coming into their new seed point of creative potential, and it may not look like yours, and it may not feel like you think it should feel. That's okay. But you have to instill within your own heart that connection to your creator, whatever that means to you, so that you know where you stand and you have that peace that you can go back to. Because I suspect it's going, after yesterday, that was just the overture. It's going to get real bumpy. Okay. And that's not to instill fear. In fact, I just posted something on YouTube and then Telegram, a nice little video about using fear as a gift, right? Your subconscious, your instinctual action. And if there's any sign that has to do with instinctual action, it is Aries. So there's benefit here. But there also needs to be conscious awareness of what's going on and the potential for some, like I said, some really inflamed, caustic communication is very strong today. And do what you need to do to keep yourself safe and to instill that peace within your own heart. So I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later.